Two dudes reviewing the news, pop culture, video games, movies, and shoes. Quincy and Justin with a nerdy forecast. So stay a while and welcome to the Ugly Mugs Podcast.
Welcome to the Mugs Podcast. I'm your host, Quincy.
And your other host, Justin.
And we apparently have a helicopter looking for someone in the area.
Yeah.
It's been buzzing around for a little bit now.
I thought it was an airplane because I heard it go from far side to close
I
side.
got a alert on my phone about it, too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're looking at the park for someone.
Hopefully they find them.
All right.
It's Goon. It's always Goon. Ah, so hello, everybody.
Look at that quick chat. Just bam, bam, bam.
Bam, 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 bam. Let's get some numbers going.
So this week for drinks, we swung by the gas station. Last week, I tried the Coke coffee.
And I said it was okay.
Yeah. This week, we're trying the caramel Coke coffee.
The caramel Coke
So
coffee.
if we die, somebody sue Coke for us.
Yes. I don't want to die, though. And then I have the light ASMR. Get ready.
Sounds like I went back in the morning.
Yeah, all right.
It still smells like the other one.
Yo, there's actual caramel in there. It's so subtle, but it tastes so... It's Coke, and then it's like, hey, guess what? That hint of coffee, it's right there.
I'm not getting the caramel.
It's very light at the end. Very light at the end.
Maybe a little bit there.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's still good. It's not
very,
bad.
Yeah.
I just was expecting more caramel than that. But it's good. I'll definitely finish that before the episode's done.
Yeah, and just in case we have a backup, vanilla.
Yeah, well, the vanilla ones too.
I wanted to do the vanilla one, to be honest, but
Why didn't you do the vanilla one? I could have done the caramel. You could have done the vanilla.
I could
You don't
have.
do the same as me.
Nah, this is fine.
Be a leader, not a follower.
I try, okay?
I'm curious as to if there's any other flavors that would work with this.
I'm thinking maybe. I know it's gonna sound very strange at first, but think about it. It is complimentary. Strawberry, because you got strawberry Coke. That's not very popular in America, but it's very popular in Japan. And then you have strawberry coffee that's popular in Japan as well.
I was thinking mocha would probably be their next move.
Mocha would be a good. Mocha chocolate would be a nice little.
Where are
twist.
you on the scale of strawberry milk versus chocolate milk?
I'll have either or. I prefer chocolate.
Okay, that's how I am.
Green. Oh, matcha. Ugh. Ugh.
Wait, so Boss Coffee, green tea coffee.
Oh, okay. I was thinking. I mean, matcha and coffee already. You have two very strong flavors trying to compete out. I don't think that.
I've
would
only
work.
had matcha as ice cream. Like I haven't had a matcha tea.
There's one up in the cupboard that we've tried. Well, I've tried earlier, but I would recommend that one, and then just adding like a little bit of honey just to make it good. You know. But Boss Coffee. Yeah, you've had a Boss Coffee on here before, haven't you?
I'm not sure.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
I probably haven't.
You've had another Japanese coffee, but you have not had Boss Coffee, I don't think.
Yeah, I've definitely done some Japanese coffee, or at least one Japanese coffee on here, but yeah, I don't think I've done Boss. There's one I want to get that is run in by like it's a firefighter one. It's a bunch of firefighters that make coffee.
And it's fair trade and all that.
Yeah, yeah, I want to do that one. There's a lot on my list still. Yeah, I mean, if people want to make a list of coffees I haven't tried, I am all for that.
I mean, there's a huge number, because there's also another nerd coffee company that we're not supported by, called Find Familiar, and they have cantrip names all the way down, and then there's another nerd coffee brand that's just all like, I think they got sued not too long ago because they had a couple names that were based off of Nintendo characters or Sega characters.
And Nintendo doesn't really care about the fandom.
No, they do not. Well,
they care up until it costs them money.
They care only to a certain extent, and then when it doesn't earn them any money, that's when they go, I don't know about that.
I'm surprised I've never heard anything about Nintendo walking down Artist Alley at conventions.
Yeah.
But there's one I wanted to check out that does teas. And basically, they swear they have a tea that works for any fandom.
Okay.
So you put in the fandom, and they'll give you like the list of teas they have, like based off of characters and stuff like that. Lauren found it. I'll have to have her get me that again.
Here, just a heads up, I'm going to switch over the scene over to the Found Familiar Coffee. Be aware we are not affiliated with them, but if you happen to want other coffee that we are not supporting, they are there. But our initiative, no, not that initiative, and they blow up that they have phase step inspiration. Thieves can't. Wait, thieves can't what?
I'm sorry, you said initiative. I was getting my dice.
Oh, okay. I don't have my dice. But they do have a coffee called Initiative. And
a really cool D6 like that.
Oh, I like the D6.
Nerds.
Rogue Panache, regular Knoll, which is their modern espresso, cartographers, meta magic, so on and so forth. Spare the Dying Hex, Good Berry, which is like flavorful of berries. I'm like they worked super hard on these, and if you guys want some other coffee that isn't our brand, if you've already had our brand, go over and check them out. So last week's movies.
Well, actually, before last week's movies, while we are talking about our brand.
Oh, okay.
Our brand is Those Guys Above Justin's Head, Geek Grind. Yeah. Go ahead and grab the link in our description, and go ahead and just get yourself that discount if you use the code JustH20. That's JUSTH20. He's gonna bring them up for you guys too.
And I'm gonna see if they have anything new, because last time I did this at the last minute, they had something new.
Yeah, it's always nice to be surprised.
No, nothing new.
I was looking at the Silent Night, and the only thing they have left is the 5-pound bags. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a 5-pound bag if I don't know if it's good yet. It'll probably come back around during Christmas time.
It probably will. I mean, it's gingerbread and eggnog. I don't think that would be so bad.
5 pounds of it though.
I'm sure
What the hell was that?
Hey, would you like any help?
Gotcha. Like, do I have a tumor? What was that noise?
And if you already used our code once before, if you use our link, good news, they always have some coupon at the very top of the their website that showcases for even 20% more. Or if you happen to have a couple bags of coffee in your in your cart, it'll throw in a mug for free. They always run some sort of really nice deal.
Yeah, and the codes may not work if you've done a code before. I'm not entirely sure how their program works on that, but it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try, but just as long as you use our link. Use our link.
Yes. All right.
Please.
Last week's movies.
And
hi in the chat.
Hello, everybody in the chat. Something Wicked This Way Comes. I kept forgetting the name of this movie when I was talking to my coworker who doesn't listen to the podcast but listens to what I've been watching over the weeks. I was trying to remember the name of this movie. And of course, the best way I did it was Jonathan Pryce.
Go through his entire catalog. You'll eventually hit the movie.
Pretty much. Watched. And then I was like, okay, that's the poster I recognize. There you go. And then I had talked about it for a brief, and I said, the movie's memorable only with the Jonathan Pryce scenes. I will admit I dozed off a little bit during the movie, but I don't think it was too heavy. Lauren threw a fucking candy at my nipple.
To be fair, that was like the second or third time you dozed off.
It would be the second time. I only dozed off twice. But then again, the second time I was just eyes half open. I wasn't asleep. The first time I'll admit I was hitting it, but the second time I was just, eyes half open. I wasn't really enthralled by this movie.
I enjoy it. I definitely think Jonathan Pryce is the best part of it. I've never read the Roald Dahl, not Roald Dahl. I keep doing that. I've never read the book. The name will come to me. Ray Bradbury. But to be fair, he's Catcher in the Rye, and I fucking hate that book. But I think that maybe where this suffers is one. It was in that interesting spot in the 80s where like Disney was doing like darker movies. Because like 2 years after this, Return to Oz came out, and that one's got some pretty weird, kind of scary shit in it.
Yeah.
But I think that where it maybe suffers is the fact that this was still kind of like something that Disney hadn't really narrowed down yet. They haven't really narrowed down the live action. Is it hitting weird now?
It's just a coffee taste. Yeah, I'm okay.
Such a bitch.
Don't like coffee. I'm sorry.
But then I think the other part would be the fact that this was written as a screenplay.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to make it into a movie. So then it was written into a book. And then it was rewritten into a screenplay. And so I'm wondering if it suffered
lost
in
translation type of thing. Yeah, I gotcha.
Now, the funny thing is the next movie has a connection to this. One, in the fact that they've got very similar themes. But 2, that the next movie is based off a book, and the writer of that book wrote a rejected screenplay for this movie.
And I like that movie more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, also, he wrote that book after, so I feel like he wrote the book partially because he was like, well, I didn't get to write the movie. But also, I've got some facts on that. But let's delve into the ratings before we move on.
6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.4 out of 5 on Netflix Movies, I don't know, and 92% on Google users. I'm throwing it at 6.
I don't even think it's available on Netflix, which is funny because I had to order this from a different fucking state.
Well, maybe it was, but it got pulled?
Maybe. Now, the funny thing is...
I see something.
What is this? Like, okay. Not available on those spots, it's saying.
Well, Amazon it probably is. You
No.
just probably gotta purchase it? No.
That's why I had to order the DVD. 92 from the Google users. I feel like a lot of that's probably nostalgia. 64 from the audience here, so it doesn't go up much higher.
No.
I don't hate the movie. I definitely think that there's things that could have been better in it. What was I gonna delve into with the ratings before? I lost something. My brain broke somewhere. Go back so I can look at it again.
Okay.
6 out of 10, 60%, 3 out of 4. Oh, that's what I was saying. I find it funny that, Netflix Movies is apparently a website where you can rate movies when Netflix got rid of their fucking rating system and just thumbs up or thumbs down. Ever since they introduced that, I have not rated something on there since. I used to rate every TV show, every movie I watched on Netflix. When they got rid of the 5-star ratings and were like, either you like it or you don't, I was like, that's not how I work.
No.
So I'm out.
Because if you don't like something, but you like something else in its genre, such as you may like Sherlock Holmes, but you're not going to like Bradbury, the other detective. Like, Bradbury is not great. Like, I watched it because it was like, hey, you like Sherlock, so you might like this. I watched...
Oh, is that like another BBC thing?
No, it's another detective thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And I watched 2 episodes of it, and I was just like, you can't compare those two.
Yeah.
And if I disliked it, would I be pushed for it? I mean, with YouTube, okay, Goon mentions in the chat, it's when YouTube does it, though, it helps the algorithm. It helps what people all around YouTube enjoys. And with that one, however, that one does have a bit more leeway. It doesn't try and push different recommendeds. It pushes different... It actually pushes new things towards you and says, well, you may not like this person who does this content. Here's something else a lot of people have liked in it.
Now, I think the one difference with YouTube deciding like or dislike,
I mean, I also
is
do it
that
for music.
Yeah. I used to do it with Pandora, and I'm glad I don't use Pandora anymore because it got real bad where it's like, oh, I'm listening to this station, but if I like a song on it, it pretty much changes what that station is. So even though so if I go into a station that is supposed to be new wave music, if I've liked a Cure song on there, suddenly it's taking me out of new wave and taking me into all this other shit that's close to the Cure. I'm like, no, this was supposed to be a new wave station.
Right.
What I was going to say with YouTube is at least it goes back to the creators because the creators are looking at it going, oh shit, people did not like that.
Right.
I need to change something.
That's
Netflix isn't going to decide what they're going to make based off of how I feel about Mr. Deeds.
Fair enough. And they also, you got to figure, thanks to YouTube or having trailers being released on such, they got the immediate reaction for the Sonic movie.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some push and pull to define how to make this work.
I mean, they just shouldn't have tried to make a Sonic movie.
But I will admit that YouTube Music does evolve a little bit better than Pandora, where I like a couple music and it sprinkles some of the stuff that I liked in, and then it says, well, you like those, I'll throw in this thing, and I'll be like, okay, because it threw in ages ago. It threw in some like Norse style music, and I was like, I didn't know how that would hit, but it hit pretty good, and I started liking that a little bit, and it started throwing more in there.
Now I use Apple Music, and with that, they've got the stations.
Mm-hmm.
You can do up and down type of things. You can decide what you like and what you don't like. But primarily, I'm just making playlists because it's all of iTunes.
Yes.
Like anything that's on iTunes is on Apple Music.
So you got a big library.
Yeah. Let me check real quick how many songs I have.
I don't even want to look at how many I have. I'm probably in the tens of thousands. Like I have a lot of music. Like yesterday I was delving through just before my session with the Nameless crew, And I usually every chapter, I throw one song. And it's so hard to define a song for where they're at because there's so much that matches what they're doing that I'm like, oh, this song sounds good. Oh, that song sounds good. Oh, that song sounds, and so on and so forth.
So I can actually figure out a way to look up how many songs I have on here. Like when I go into the song thing, it's just.
But no matter what, whenever you plug it,
scroll. Whenever you guys will just see.
Yeah, it's a big list. But whenever you plug it into your car, it always goes straight to Adidas.
Yeah, it goes to alphabetical order. That's a car thing, not the phone.
Yeah.
So it'll go with whatever song's first alphabetically.
Adidas.
If I had Bluetooth, that wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, because it just plays whatever you're playing.
Yeah. Although today, funny thing is, it started where I stopped off last night. But I stopped off last night in the house, not in the car. So this morning when I got in the car, it started with the song I was listening to in the house. I was like, okay.
That's something to look into. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm definitely throwing Something Wicked This Way Comes at a 6.
Oh, the 6?
Yeah, it had a few interesting moments, and Mr. Price, he just devoured the scenery. And I was just, everything else just seemed bland and not very entertaining. The outlayer characters that were getting their wishes didn't even appeal to me, and then when they got their wishes, it was like, cool, I guess. Like,
so I mean, you're going pretty much across the board. I mean, it's a 6.8 out of 10, 60%, 3.4 out of 5. That's practically a 6 out of 10 or a 60 out of 100.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean,
7.5 times 2 would be 7.
Yeah. And then it's kind of hard when it gets down to the 5s to really decide whether people wanted to go to the next number or not.
Right.
Even the audience is sitting at 64. Google users is the odd man out here.
Yeah.
I'll probably put it a little higher than you, although I did take issues with certain writing sections of it. Hey, apparently we can under the ugly mugs. Interesting. I did take certain. I don't like an out of 5. Out of 5 is not enough.
Well, I mean, you just have to take what it is out of 10 and cut it in half.
No, because if I say it's a 70, then it becomes a 3.4, and everyone just goes, "Oh, it's a 3."
It's a 3.5.
3.5. Okay. I mean, and everyone just goes.
And what sucks is I can't. I have to do whole numbers.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I'll put it.
I guess the halves is from people.
I mean, I guess we can start doing this.
I'd rather show up those bitches on We Are Ugly Mugs on Rotten Tomatoes. I almost said show up those bitches on Ugly Mugs. I'm gonna show us up.
Show us up on ourselves on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, we're gonna revamp the website. We're gonna start doing actual movie reviews there, and we will burn Rotten Tomatoes to the ground.
No shit. I mean, I guess I could start doing these because I mean, it would just be
I'd probably put it higher than you. I'd probably put it in around the 70s. It did have some rough parts, but I don't think it was a bad story, and it did have amazing effects, and it did have very creepy, well-played villain by Jonathan.
Yeah, see, it's like I could just do that and then put yours right underneath, and it would kind of even out to being just a straight up, like, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, something to work on. We'll look into it, and why not?
What did you give this?
I'm putting it in the 70s, so 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
Yeah.
7 out of 10 will work on.
You guys see that? It said 6 at first. He's trying to lie about my feelings, making me look like him.
Okay.
I got soda up my nose.
You deserve that, because whenever I do numbers, I use my middle finger, and I just glide it from where F is, and I go up, and if I go a little not to the right to fix it, then so be it. So I'm glad your sinuses are now clogged with soda.
So I descaled the coffee pot the other day.
Oh, okay.
So vinegar and everything, right? And so I'm standing there, and I pull it out, and it's still steaming up at the top. And so it's just straight vinegar steam. And immediately, my sinuses were cleared, and I could smmll the neighbor. It was instantly like, oh my god.
Yeah, we have the Angry Mama thing for the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
My mom
I've seen those. Do those work well?
They were pretty good. She, I think, added way too much vinegar, because as soon as the thing opened, when I wanted to just heat up I think it was a cup noodle, just so that way I can eat something real quick. Mm-hmm. As soon as I opened up the door and I almost dropped it on myself, it was just straight vinegar, and I was like, oh man.
I don't use the microwave often, so I mean, I wouldn't need to do it too often, but that is a nice thing.
Oh yeah. The only downside with it is you have to. What sucks is you have to go in gloves already on, make sure that, because if it dries, it makes it worse.
Gotcha.
Because grease plus vinegar equals more stuff.
Gotcha.
Else was a little bland. Not bland. Sad face.
Okay.
And then I'll just work on that later. So, okay.
I don't know if we can redo these later, but all right.
Oh, I guess this will be. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. On to the next movie.
Okay. Needful things.
Needless things?
Needless, needful
Completely
things.
changes the movie.
Needless, needful things.
Okay. So, 1993.
Ed Harris.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I still don't know if he's related to us down the line. Probably is.
To you, maybe.
Yeah, to me.
Yeah, Ed Harris, kicking ass and taking names.
Being really loud all the time.
Playing a sheriff that had been previously played by someone else this same year for a different Stephen King movie.
Really?
Yeah, I can't think of the movie right now, but there's another one, and because he has characters that carry over. There's another Stephen King movie that was released the same year. It also takes place in Castle Rock, and the sheriff's the same sheriff, but it's a different actor.
Is Stephen King similar to like H.P. Lovecraft, where H.P. Lovecraft always writes in like Innsmouth or Maine type of individual?
So he writes a lot of his stuff in Maine, which is also where he lives.
Okay.
So Castle Rock is Castle Rock, Maine.
Well, I mean, Lovecraft I think was.
His was closer to
Boston?
Boston, yeah, because it was like he did like the university and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah. Okay. But he always wrote about Maine or what's Delaware.
Maryland.
Delaware.
But yeah, King does most of his writing for Maine. A lot of his writing for Maine. He's created Derry is in Maine, which is where it's set. It's a fictional place.
Mm-hmm.
Castle Rock's a fictional place, and it's where Needful Things is set. And a bunch of other of his books are set in Maine as well. And a bunch of his books are set in Castle Rock to the point that there's a Castle Rock show on Hulu that these guys wrote.
That's right.
That is basically them taking all of King's stuff and having it go on while their story is going down in Castle Rock. And it makes references to other movies. It even makes references to Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, because when you first said Castle Rock, I was like, what, like the beer? And I began to like think about it. And I was like, there's a lot more Castle Rock type named things. Mm-hmm. And I began to like quell and dwell on it, and I was like, yeah, no, just the ale, just the show that didn't cross my mind until later on that night, and then all that, and I was like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of Castle Rock things.
The production company or the distribution company for this wanted to call themselves Castle Rock.
Interesting. Also, good night, Goon.
Oh, see it.
But Needful Things definitely was a lot more intriguing.
Mm-hmm. All
the characters played a much more stronger role, albeit very phobic towards the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's
kind of the small town that's a little too in everybody's business.
Yeah, with a little bit of extra, I don't like this person because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was, okay, well, instead of you two dealing with each other, I'll have this third party mess with one of them just so that way it causes more conflict.
Lights the fuse.
Yeah, lights the fuse. And then another fuse lit. And then another fuse lit.
I think that's kind of the concept, too, is going to the place where it's like tensions are already brewing.
Right.
It makes your job so much easier.
Yeah, because it's like, then I don't have to do it, but you want that thing, so you're going to just have to kind of pay me. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to pay me in cash. You're going to pay me in a favor that I will ask for at some other time, and you cannot refuse.
So, general concept of it is needful things. The things people really want, they think they need them. Reality is they don't.
But
and the bad that they'll go down, the bad things that'll go down, the things that that dark road they're willing to go down to get these things. Now, here's where I get really interested with this. So this comes out in 93. The book, I think, was 91.
Pause. Thank you for the bits.
Oh, thank you. What do we do for that?
I don't know. We just say thank you.
Put me under.
Put me under. Put me under? What? I feel like I'm supposed to know that, Goon.
I feel like he's like talking about surgery. Like
he is. I think so. But I feel like he's.
I can sing a lullaby.
I think this is I think this is an inside joke between us, but I'm not catching it.
Yeah, you're terrible.
He's gonna yell at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
I probably do. But thank you again, Goon. But you were saying the book.
Okay, the book comes out in 91. The movie's 93. This is the first book King writes, though, after recovering from his alcohol and drug addiction.
Okay.
So I think while it's got its similarities because he had written a script for something wicked and whatnot, I think that the main concept here, the needful things, is how he, I think that's kind of him dealing with his addiction. It's not an inside joke, but I'm gonna yell at you anyway.
Okay.
But I think it's kind of like a reflection on his addiction, like, the dark path people go down because of addiction and whatnot, and how they need those things, but the reality is they don't.
Okay.
I think there was a lot of that with needful things and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, at the midway point, without spoiling too much, there is a really tough scene that kind of hits hard, and you don't really expect it. But then it's like, how did this individual get this very, very strong piece of equipment?
I'm still not getting what scene you're talking about. Oh no, they told you. You missed it?
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, at the starting point, and then you're like, because someone fed it to them.
Gotcha.
Someone fed it to them, and so it begins to have the unraveling at the very end of, I did this to this. Pardon me, that Coke. I did this to this person. Oh, I did this to make sure that I'm the one who put I'm the one who slashed his tires. I'm the one who burned this. I'm the one who shot.
Nothing was shot.
No.
But yeah, they all kind of start to point out their
flaw,
their point in the connection of everything.
All for some needful things.
I want to see if it's out there available. So it says around 2 hours. This says 2 hours. I don't think it's exactly 2 hours. I think it's just over. There's actually a 3-hour version.
You had mentioned that.
And so I want to see if that's available somewhere because I'd love to watch the 3-hour version. The 2-hour version is available on HBO Max. So if anyone wants to check it out, that's where it's at. Let's dive into those ratings, though.
6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 31% on Rotten Tomatoes, 43% on Metacritic, and 86 by Google users.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm going to throw this about 80. Like, it was very entertaining. Every character felt very vibrant. Even if they were lackluster, they still felt like they were playing a good role. I had no problem with it. I'm very confused by the 31 by Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm confused by the 31 also, but I have a slight theory. If we go back and we look at most Stephen King movies, originally, we see a lot lower ratings. I can't believe it's... Now it says 28 now.
Oh.
Okay. And it says, what was it, 40-something from the...
44.
44 from the audience. The audience isn't being fair enough to this. But I think we've kind of run into this thing where it's like, for some reason, a lot of these Stephen King movies that came out in the 80s and 90s, and maybe even earlier on, people really crapped on them.
Yeah.
Like, the respect and love for Stephen King movies, I think, came a lot out of nostalgia later on. Because a lot of the movies were done as TV movies, sadly. This one wasn't, but a lot of them were.
What's the one with the truck?
Maximum Overdrive.
Thank you.
To be fair, that's also the one directed by Stephen King.
I know.
The only time he's ever directed a movie, and everyone always asks him, "Are you ever going to direct another movie?" And he says no, and they go, "Why?" And he goes, "Did you watch Maximum Overdrive?"
Oh, come on!
I loved the movie.
It's a good movie.
Emilio Estevez is great in it. It got the truck with the Green Goblin on the front from the Spider-Man comics.
Yeah, like there's no problem there. But I am a little confused. At the same time, I can see why this would get not good ratings, but I mean, it's fine.
I'm also a little bothered by the fact that it's sitting at 25 reviews from the critics.
Well,
and if you look, yeah, Ebert, but he didn't do it until 2000.
Right.
Waited 7 years to review the movie. I mean, I get it. You're watching a lot of movies, but
yeah,
are you comparing it to stuff you watched in 2000? Like, that's kind of one of the problems.
I think it kind of also goes alongside of you're right. There is a lot of movies to watch. What would he push off to the side until later? What would he pull off to the side and say, "I'll watch that later. Yeah. I don't need to watch that now." Yeah. And then when he finally watches it, he's already in a crappy mood because he's like, "This is stuff I'm catching up on.
Yeah, this
is stuff I need to watch because there's nothing else going on." So I think that also puts in the mentality of exactly that. But I liked it. I liked it. The only major issue I had with it was actually no, I don't really have too much of an issue. Just the one single strong character at the very end. It was a little zany, a little nutty, but I'll take it.
I like the bad guy calling him a wussy.
You wussy.
Like, that was great. Rather than calling him a bitch or a pussy, you wussy. But he delivered it with like enough like strength,
like
and
malice
behind it, that you're like, yeah, you wussy. Like, you get with him on it. Like, yeah, we're calling a grown ass man a wussy.
I'm gonna take this whole city with me. But he had that character that gets called a wussy actually had kind of a rough time up until that point.
Yeah.
Don't you call me Buster.
We also kind of like see like his real like breakdown throughout things. I think it's good. I think it's probably one of those ones that will eventually get remade, because it's what seems to be the new thing. They like to remake Stephen King movies.
Mm-hmm.
They remade Pet Sematary. They made It. And so I feel like mine's around an 8 out of 10 also.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I feel like it's like the new thing where it's like we've got the ability to do more with the effects because of CGI, and you got these bigger studios getting behind these things now, that I think we're going to see a lot more Stephen King movies being remade.
Mm-hmm.
We're also seeing things like his son's books are being made in the movies and TV shows. We're seeing, you know, more TV shows coming out of his movies. I mean, The Mist was made in the 2000s and has already been remade as a TV show that also got canceled. But I mean, they did Under the Dome. It seems Mr. Mercedes was a miniseries. Seems like they're getting more into making Stephen King stuff again. So I think we'll probably at some point see a remake of this. Not that I think it deserves one. I just think it'll happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into some news.
So a lot of comics this week.
Excuse me, sorry. It was finally like I come across comic news quite often when I'm doing my looking around, my research and whatnot. The big problem I run into with a lot of the comic news is that it's normally things like, you know, oh, Batman's got a new costume in this week's issue. Spider-Man's got a new costume in this week's issue. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. This is a little different though. We've got some like announcements, which are kind of cool.
Cool.
So we'll start with this one.
Okay.
Time Before Time. It's a new comic book series coming from Image Comics. They say it combines the gritty character force drama of a criminal story with the traveling shenanigans of things like Back to the Future. So
Time Cop.
I mean, hopefully better.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
But no, I mean, it looks like they're handcuffed together. They're the criminals rather than you following the cop.
Oh, because I saw that first. I didn't see this.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's the cop and he's needing to keep the criminal?
Maybe.
So,
Time Before Time is a collaboration between Declan Shelby, who's been known for Injection and Moon Knight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I could see a little bit of that.
And Right in the Blood Sorry, let me try that again. And the creators of Write It in Blood, Rory McConville and Joe Palmer. So it'll be Shelby and McConville co-writing the series while Palmer is doing the drawing. We got Chris O'Halloran handling colors, and Shelby also providing cover art. Time Before Time is set in a world where a criminal organization known only as the Syndicate rules a very special kind of underground market. The agents can use time travel to smuggle people back in time to start a new life. The series follows two of those agents, so I guess they are agents, Tatsu and Oscar, as they attempt to break free and steal their boss's time machine for themselves. Naturally, the plan is easier said than done.
Okay, all right, I can get down with that.
This will be coming out May 12th.
Right on.
Both at physical and digital. So if you can't get out to a comic shop, you can grab it online.
Okie dokie. Next, please.
Okay. Actually, do me a favor and just go to 2 images over.
This one?
Start with that.
Okay.
You think Michael Keaton's the best Batman?
What?
Do you think Michael Keaton's the best Batman?
Best. No.
Who do you think's the best Batman?
You're going to hate me, Christian Bale.
I mean, I don't hate you. Christian Bale's good, but I think Michael Keaton's better.
Okay. I mean, I can do this without saying a single word. And it's not because of Michael Keaton, but because of the costume.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to take things like that out of it.
Yeah, but you're right.
To be fair, Michael didn't look nearly as foolish as George Clooney and Val did doing that.
Okay, Val looked a little bit better. Val looked a little bit better.
Clooney looked terrible doing it.
Clooney looked bad.
And for the listeners, we're not turning our necks.
No, we are stiffening up our entire bodies to look in a direction. But I don't mind him. Let's put it like that. I don't mind him.
I mean, look at that jawline.
Yeah, that is a jawline of a millionaire.
So this is Batman 89.
Is he a billionaire?
He'd probably be upgraded to a billionaire to work in like the 2000s and 2010s,
inflation.
2020s.
I got you. Okay,
but back in the day,
It was
depending on
millionaire.
how old you were to like what timeline you would set this in, it'd probably be millionaire or even less, you know.
Yeah.
But so this one's Batman 89, and we got a few images that he can cycle through here. There's one after this, and then there's the two before this. So just go ahead and cycle through as I'm talking about these. So DC Comics is expanding on the two superhero movie universes, Superman 78 and Batman 89, which chronicle the further adventures of Christopher Reeve's Superman. That's who that Superman is right there. That's supposed to be good old Christopher Reeves.
Yep.
And Michael Keaton's Batman. Both titles are very much like the previous Batman 66 and Wonder Woman 77, which followed the continuations of their old TV shows. And they're both getting digital first titles. So these will come out on digital well before they come out physical. They have licensed the likeness for the actors, so it will look like Keaton as you're seeing here. This is a legit cover, and it will look like Reeves. If you click on the image just before this one, you'll also see some more Batman sketches and stuff like that, which are great. So Batman 89 is being drawn by Dial H artist Joe Quinwans. 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 I don't know. Seems like a nice guy though. Who famously pitched this idea several years ago, and it didn't happen. He's very excited though because he originally just threw up some images up on his website. Was like, this was the idea I wanted that didn't happen. Now he's back and actually getting to do it. So he's also collaborating with the Batman screenwriter Sam Hamm on the new series. It will be taking place after Batman Forever, but without Batman and Robin and Batman Returns. Like, those never happened.
Okay.
So it's going back to that darker Tim Burton version and stuff like that.
Okay. And then you said you would talk about these, and I'm curious about
Yeah,
those.
I'll talk about these in just a second. So the series will also return to Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. And also is going to look at the abandoned plot lines from the original script for Batman Returns. Like introducing a Dick Grayson, who was supposed to be played by Marla Wayans. So be interesting if that's if that's the look we get for this Dick Grayson. Also Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, so becoming Two-Face. And you can see some of this concept art in things like these. That is not the Two-Face.
No, Two-Face. I don't know. Two-Face.
I don't think the Two-Face is on this one.
No.
He may have tweeted another image.
But
however, so if you remember correctly, in '89, Joker dies. So what he did here is this is Joker modeled after Prince, which is actually roughly the look that what we're looking at here. If you look, it's actually Batman on one side and Joker on the other. When Prince did all the music for the '89 Batman and did a music video for one of the songs where he's dressed up very Two-Face like, but it's Joker and it's Batman. So that's what he's nodding at here. You can also see his Michelle. I think that's just another
Superboy, Superlad.
No, I think that's just another Prince one. And then if
This
you
one?
go, I don't know what else it would be. It looks like it might still be Prince.
Oh, hold on. Let me look over here with the rest. What is this?
It's a cat.
It's just a cat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, and of course,
I mean, let me see. I think I still have the tweet up that these came from. So, yeah, this is just from his personal shop, but it was a way to see some of his other art that he's done for them. But the man's done a lot of art, so if you go through his Twitter, you end up with things like he did a Batgirl cover and stuff like that. So, What exactly are you trying to?
I don't know. That's not what I want.
Yeah, be very careful with your Google searches.
I
here.
will be very careful by doing this.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what you're trying to get out of this pin.
I don't either, but it looks familiar to me.
I just figured it was another prince because it looked a lot like the prince next to it.
This.
Oh, okay, so it is like a Superboy. Okay. He's also introducing a Detective Harvey Bullock, who we never got in the Burt Markerverse, as I like to call it. The new version of the Joker, like I mentioned, that's based off of Prince, Billy D. Williams, as Two-Face. And then it's also talks that we're going to get the DDs from Batman Beyond, the twins. The twin Harley Quinn girls that are part of the...
Okay.
Yeah, the DDs. Batman himself is being redesigned to have a bat suit that combines the classic 89 suit with the elements of Batman the Animated Series. And we are getting also a new look at Bruce Wayne also to kind of bring him up a little bit. The Bruce Wayne look is based more off of the Kenner toys that were released for Batman Returns. Also, the art shows Bruce's temples are graying to suggest that it's been years since Batman Returns and not immediately after. What?
I was just chuckling because he's like, boy, what I'd tell you. Go ahead.
Let's see, where was I?
Sorry.
Yeah, set years after the events of Batman Returns. However, we have very little information on Superman 78 at this point. It's just supposed to be a collaboration, though, between the Hawkman writer and the Hawkman writer Robert Vendetta and the Batman 66 artist Wilfred Torres. The series are both set to come out this year. The Superman one is going to be set fairly early on in the Man of Steel's career, before Lois uncovers he's Clark Kent. So it won't be after Superman 4. It'll probably be somewhere closer to 2. So I do believe she finds out in 3. She technically finds out in 2, and then he erases her mind by kissing her. Those movies were wild.
Yeah. Okay.
So the way they're going to do it is it's going to be that they both will release on a 12 digital comic chapter run. The first 6 chapters of both series will be dropped July 27th, and the new chapters will follow once a week until they're completed. Print issues, though, will come in 2 chapters each rather than the separate 12. It will be published August to October, and a hardcover collection will follow in October for both of them. For Batman, and then Superman's hardcover will be in November.
Okay. And the comic I have up is the one that I have. I don't know if it's in the box, but this is the one that has the cover that's cut out, and then when you open it up, it's that picture.
Okay, so that's what that was. Still looks like Prince, though, to me.
It does, but I'm just... But so, then...
I think this is cool, though, to continue the storylines that we never got. I mean, they've done this before. They did it with the next, 1 or 2 seasons of Smallville were in comic form after the show was canceled.
Did they?
Yeah, because the show ends before we really get to see him full-blown Superman. And so they did it. They did a 1 or 2 comic runs where they span off that. We've also seen it with Buffy and Angel both got continued in comic form. Firefly got continued in comic form. So.
That's right.
It's interesting. I think this will be really fun, and I'll probably keep an eye out for them.
Speaking of fun, you said I would like this.
Yes, I think you will. So, Marvel revealed a new Star Wars. I almost said Superman. Star Wars crossover set. It's going to be set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and it'll be following Boba Fett. The crossover starts in May with a prelude issue called Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha #1, which will be written by Charles Soule, who's currently doing Star Wars, and drawn by Stephen McNiven, who's known for Civil War.
Nice.
From there, the story will continue on a 5-issue run, War of the Bounty Hunter miniseries, written by Soule and drawn by Star Wars Thrawn's artist, Luke Ross. And it's also going to cross over with the current beta era comics, the 4 that are running. The Star Wars comic, Star Wars Darth Vader, Star Wars Bounty Hunters, and Star Wars Dr. Aphra.
Aphra?
Yeah, Aphra.
Okay.
War of the Bounty Hunter aims to deal with the weird time gap that we have between Empire and Return of the Jedi. Empire, we see Han go into Carbonite. Return of the Jedi, it's been almost a year, and they're just now showing up to save him at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So basically, it comes down to Boba didn't immediately make it to Jabba's palace. He will be on his own, and he's going to be hunted by the Rebel Alliance, the Black Sun Criminal Organization, and fellow bounty hunters that want to take his prize bounty because Han's worth a lot.
Han is worth a lot.
The other thing
the best
is
smugglers in.
Yeah. And he owns a shit ton of money to Jabba. And the other thing is Jabba doesn't give a fuck who brings him. So Jabba ain't gonna be no help.
Right.
As long as Han shows up. So yeah, I thought you'd like it. Small run, focusing on Boba Fett proving why he's the baddest motherfucker around.
Okay. So you got bad motherfuckers.
Spawn.
Spawn.
To be more specific, Spawn Universe. So McFarlane has always stuck to, I will not renumber my comics. I refuse to renumber my comics. I think it's a cash grab. There are over 300 issues of Spawn now. Stories continued, stories changed, yada yada.
Okay.
But we're not ending the numbering. It's been one continuous thing.
Okay.
So he's decided, though, that it is time for a change. And that change is that in June, starting with some one-shots, he's going to make a Spawn universe. So already there's a universe, but it's all in one comic. He's going to change that so that there's going to be 3 comics running.
Okay.
So kind of like how it's like, okay, we've got Batman, but we've also got Nightwing. Nightwing may show up in a Batman comic, but his shit's going off in another comic.
Right.
And they cross over and stuff like that. Kind of the general concept.
Okay.
So the Spawn universe is serving as he says, a table setter for the new world. Following the launch of those one-shots, we're going to get the 3 ongoing titles every other month to go along with the original Spawn comic. So McFarlane has said that he's never going to renumber, but this also gives him the chance to finally start a new Spawn from number 1. So we're going to have the Scorched, Gunslinger Spawn, and King Spawn. The Scorched is said to be the Spawn versus version of a team book. So that's where a bunch of people will get together and go off and do spawny things. Gunslinger is going to bring back the fan favorite Hellspawn. Yep. He's from the Old West and has recently ended his long absence by showing up in Spawn number 309. And King Spawn will be the first new run for Spawn since the dawning. So this is going to be one where he says it's going to be Spawn Universe number 1. And this is the concept of like, well, we see Batman showing up in other comics. Spawn can do that too. Right. He's got more time on his hands than just what happens in one issue. Right. So King Spawn is other shit that's going on. Okay. So starts June of this year, and it will debut with the others coming out in the latter half of the year. Oh, right on. Or later half of the year. So this is all coming up pretty quick. Also,
both of what you just said?
Correct. Latter, later. Yes. He did also touch on the movie. Says it's still in the works. Jamie Foxx is still connected. Jeremy Renner's still connected. Good. So yeah, so some comic news. I thought that was fun.
Now into gaming.
Well, while we're on Marvel, real quick, and this is technically a television show, but we're here on Marvel and we don't have a marker for it anyways. Oh. The rights have returned to Marvel for Jessica Jones and Punisher, which means they own the complete Defenders set
baby
again.
Boy might come back. And maybe on Hulu?
I don't know that. I don't think it's going to be that they pick up where the show left off. I think it's going to be a whole new thing. Yeah, more than likely. Hulu is the only place it can work with as dark as that one needs to go.
Yep, and I'm okay with it. Just as long as give me something. Yeah. Give me some substance.
Charlie's showing up in Spider-Man from what we're understanding.
Yeah, because who else would
be his attorney?
Right, because you got to figure, if he's going to be a meta, and no one would want to attorney a meta, a meta could attorney a meta.
Yeah, well, that, and he'll know that Spidey didn't do it just by listening to his heart rate. I mean, that's everything they touch on with the damn Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah, they did.
They touch on the fact that he can listen to your heart rate like 6 times in that movie.
They do. Oh, well, and also that he can detect heart rate from a very far fucking distance. Yeah. Be like, I recognize that heartbeat.
I kind of like, it's like A World on Fire a little bit better. That's the Charlie Cox thing.
Oh.
World on Fire, and that's how his site looks.
Oh.
So this though,
No
matter how you feel about it, it's a Square Enix Marvel game. I personally like it. I know people out there are mad. I think a lot of their complaints are unfounded. It's just cool to hate this game. I still see people to this day that are saying it has no heart. I'm like, you didn't play it then, because that girl right there, stand cap side, that's the heart.
Oh yeah.
That right there is the heart of the story.
Okay.
Kamala Khan is amazing. But the reason why we're talking about this is PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S are getting a version of this. It'll arrive March 18th. Currently, you can play the game on those consoles, but this will be the actual up-rendered and all that.
Good.
So announced with this is War Table stuff. So these next-gen versions will release alongside the Hawkeye and his operations. So we're getting Hawkeye and we're getting Kate Bishop and all that. So we're going to get Hawkeye Future Imperfect. And we're going to get a whole Kate Bishop storyline, a bunch of fun stuff. I think we actually already got Kate Bishop. Now we're turning to the Hawkeye side, and there's going to be more of that. So that's going to launch at the same time.
Are we getting Ronin on it as well?
Who?
Ronin.
I don't think so. I think they're going to stick to just Hawkeye.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. I mean, if you notice, they kind of bookend the whole Ronin thing in the movies.
They did.
Because it's kind of a darker side of him. So they kind of, in and out with that.
Right. Okay.
So now the really cool part about this is if you're playing on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, you'll be able to upgrade to the next-gen version for free. The game will support cross-generation play between PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Okay. And players will also be able to transfer their saves between versions. So I think, if I'm understanding that correctly, the version that's on my Xbox One can go on my Xbox Series X. Yes. Makes sense.
Yes.
But when they say between versions, I'm wondering if that means if I move my Xbox One upstairs, if I can then, because it's all cloud saved, come upstairs, launch the game upstairs, and pick up where I left off.
Yes.
So just down rendered, which is fine.
Yeah.
They will also have the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 versions will have upgrade visuals and frame rates, significantly faster load times, improved destructions, and heroic detail. On the PlayStation 5, there will also be unique haptic feedback for each hero that will be felt using the DualSense controller.
They really want to push that DualSense.
They
controller.
really do, and
but
I just really don't care.
Hold on. Have you used one?
No.
It's actually kind of nice.
I mean, I've got the controller for the 4 that you do the moving stuff, but I know the DualSense is different.
Oh yeah. The vibrate. There's like 4 different spots on each side, and if you're getting hit from like forward to your right, it has that generalized feel of being right there. That is where you're being attacked from.
Gotcha.
And so it gives you this even more of a feeling.
I mean, it is cool.
But the other thing is that they're in a lawsuit right now because of drift, and
a lawsuit that's also going on against Nintendo.
Yeah,
it's part of that lawsuit.
Nintendo's kind of backing up their own stuff and going, "We're working on it. Don't worry."
So what exactly is drift?
So drift, when you're messing around on the thumbsticks to move either the camera or the person that you're controlling, you expect 1-1. You expect to move when you move the stick, right? Yeah. Drift is where you move the stick and it has a potential to delay.
Okay.
And with that delay, it can cause more lag time between, and it either make or break.
And so this was something that we decided needed to go to courts rather than being like, yo, can you guys send me a new controller?
If it was like, a fistful of people, sure. But this was a biggin.
I mean, it doesn't affect your daily life. It's just a game controller. Move on. Buy a better console. You shouldn't have bought the fucking PlayStation.
Let me. You can. Okay, tell me about that in the Switch when I'm getting drift.
I'm sorry, that sucks.
Yeah.
Hopefully they fix it.
I'm hoping they do too.
But at least Nintendo's addressing it. PlayStation's just saying it ain't a thing.
I don't know.
No, PlayStation's saying it isn't a thing. I've seen them already been like ignoring it and whatnot. But I don't have it with my Xbox. So $70 for a controller that'll vibrate in different spots but might not work.
Yeah, neutral.
Use my controllers that already exist and might play my games just fine.
Socks made a mention. Stick drift is a bitch on Animal Crossing when you're using the water tool. That is fair. And also when you're playing Smash, it's not just the sticks. That was what I used as a thing. Sometimes when I'm doing Smash abilities, I let go of the A to try and beat down. He's still holding it. I'm like, why are you... Release. I'm not saying it's not a problem, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be fixed. I'm saying, do we really need to gunk up our already absolutely insane justice system by suing them? I don't know. I mean, this is apparently a big thing. Because, I mean, I'm sitting maybe 3 feet less than, and I'm having problems.
I mean, it's obviously not a distance thing. It's
No.
obviously something in the mechanics of how it communicates.
Yeah.
It's either the receiver on the consoles or it's the output
Controller
on the controller,
itself,
one or the other.
I don't know, but you are correct. It doesn't need
Question.
to go.
If you snap the Joy-Cons on and you're playing handheld, does it still happen?
I don't know.
Because I'm also curious, does it happen when you plug a PlayStation 5 controller into the console?
I don't know.
Because that would prove that it's not actually something with the joysticks, it's something in the communication.
Right.
So.
It's something for me to test, I suppose. But speaking of Switch and a lot of
Okay,
stuff.
but she says, "Oh, dude, on tournament for Smash where everybody has to play with stick drift." Yes, but it's everybody. It's not like it's
it would be one person, but
yeah. So
I mean, it'd be
if it's happening to
interesting.
everybody, that means you're the person that adapts to it best when you win.
Right. It's
not saying it should be fixed, but I'm saying that. Oh, I lost in my tournament because of drift. Well, no, everybody had drift.
It's just
you're the guy that yells fucking lag when you're playing Call of Duty. And we all are sitting there going, man, it shows us that you've got the best connection out of all of us, and I didn't lag.
Fucking lag.
Not that lag doesn't happen, but that people yell fucking lag when they fuck up the shot.
Right. There are people who will have the best connection, but have the biggest packet loss. But it's fine. It's fine.
Sox says the stick drift is a physical thing with the Joy-Cons. Okay, so do a thing where Best Buy, GameStop, yada yada yada, have a thing where people bring in their old ones and swap them out with new ones once you fix the problem. Joysticks aren't a new fucking thing. They've been around since the original goddamn.
Well, but that's the other thing is the physical.
I'm wondering how two companies both fucked up joysticks.
Well, joysticks and buttons, because as I said, I released the A button. The A button took a while for it to give me my smash attack. I don't know.
Also, why is it taking this long for it on the Switch? Like, this lawsuit just started going down recently, right?
Yeah.
But the Switch has been out for a couple of years now, right?
I don't know.
Damn.
I haven't really been paying attention to it just because I'm on the line of I hear about it, I acknowledge it, but it doesn't affect me. Well, that time it didn't affect me, so I didn't really pay hide nor hair, and it wasn't anything to bring up during today's, or any of our podcasts.
No, it is an interesting conversation though, and not to say that Xbox hasn't had its problems. Red Ring of Death was a thing on the 360.
God, remember back when the 360 was just being announced, and all of those rumors were not being squashed, but at the same time,
took like a solid year to Red Ring, and when it did Red Ring, I had coverage. I sent my console out, they sent me it back, it was fixed.
Not just free. That, but I'm talking like all of the announcements up until it, like all the rumors that were coming out that was games won't be backwards compatible, anything that your old console can do, this one can do better, but not as well as, because Microsoft at that time was very close-lipped. They never really announced anything except for, what the hardware could do.
I mean, it was backwards compatible, though.
Yes, but back in the day, nobody had that confirmation. It was all rumors and speculation.
It was their second console, and the first console was
a glorified DVD player.
No, I mean, it worked, and Fable worked fine. It was fun to play. I mean, it wasn't a bad game.
No.
The first console was a good game. Terrible controller design.
Oh yeah, that weird
thing was a brick.
What did they call it later on? The legacy controller?
I don't know. The thing you kill a home intruder with.
Shit,
like, like seriously,
just start swinging that thing around.
But I mean, sure, the announcement for the 360 didn't go off well, and it had the red ring. There's been problems, but people didn't sue over the red ring, and just Microsoft honored the problem. Was like, yeah, we fucked up. Send it into us.
I want to say there was a lawsuit against that, but they immediately said, "Hey, you kind of signed the lease when you pay the price. We're replacing them. Leave us alone."
Yeah, I'm curious.
But speaking of Switch from a little bit ago, they just had a very, very meaty Nintendo Direct, about 40 minutes worth of content talking about new games that are coming over, such as Tales from the Borderlands and other things. Go check it out. It's on their YouTube. But just a couple things I want to mention. A new challenger coming over to Smash Bros. A couple people were super excited for it. I don't remember their name.
Okay, really quick.
Yes.
They were sued.
Okay.
But the lawsuit didn't go through because they honored it and fixed the shit.
Pyra
Which is honestly what Nintendo needs to do. They need to just be like, yep, it's broken. We're going to fix them. Send them in. We'll send you new ones.
I would send mine in. Like, real talk, I'd be like, not playing my Switch for a week and a half. I'll be okay. But
hold on, chat. I feel like Microsoft is such a bigger company now, and it owns so many things that now they're more like a community. There's more open communication now. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I think it was also with the consoles. I mean, this was brand new territory for them. I mean, you're talking a company that started out as software
and then
is
went
now
into PCs,
building shit.
Oh yeah. Aren't they wanting to do cars?
Apple's the one that's been in rumors for cars. I don't know if Microsoft is or not.
No.
But I mean, the other thing to look at is Sony's the company that kept going, Nintendo, make a console with us. Make a console with... And you know what? Fuck you. We're going to make our own console. And release the PlayStation. And then the 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But also kind of keeps shitting on their community. So to hear that they're kind of not really doing anything about the drifting, I'm not surprised.
Like, I may have mentioned this before, but I actually regret a tattoo on my body. And I never thought I would say that.
How many consoles of theirs are fully backwards compatible? No, I'll be right.
Okay.
How many consoles of theirs are fully backwards compatible? None. The PlayStation 2 was the last one that was fully backwards compatible.
I got you on this one. Game Boy Advance. Can play all Game Boy Color games.
Yeah, but I was just talking Sony.
Oh, and Sony, PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that was it. And then the 3, for a brief minute, had one that could do back to, what was it, 1?
It could do all of it.
No, there was one that could only do one set, and then they released a small number of those, and then they did a re-release on the 3, and that one could no longer do the backwards compatibility the other one did.
You are correct. It was the 320 gigabyte one can go back to 2 and 1.
I think it can only go back to 2. Okay.
No, yeah, it can do 2 and 1. And then the later release, the 500 gig and the 1 terabyte one, can go back to only the 1. It cannot go to PlayStation 2.
Which is fucking stupid.
Which is weird.
It's also a console that uses so much RAM, games can't function right on it.
Certainly
that was just for its operating system.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. Nintendo.
So Pyra Mistra were the new confirms from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I should actually start thinking about getting Xenoblade, but I need to lock myself down. If it's a JRPG, I need to think about it. Splatoon 3 was announced. A very fun little trailer. Monster Hunter Rise has had a open beta, played well. I never had a chance to get into it, but I watched a little bit of gameplay. Mario Golf gets a new one, which was very interesting.
Officially available for pre-order.
Yeah, officially available for pre-order, as well as Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This one got a little bit of backlash in the comment section, but I'm like, you gotta figure they're just going down a very specific timeline that someone has said, hey, do this, you'll be fine.
Now, back to the Mario real quick. I haven't played a Mario golf game since the Game Boy Advance version.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the golf part was not why I played the game. I played it for the going around exploring, getting the story, finding the different hidden things and stuff like that. The golf was never the thing that brought me in.
No.
So when this one comes out, if it's like straight up just like, oh yeah, you just go to the tees and you play golf, I'm going to be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that story thing
Probably
again.
Not.
No. But then, of course, you got Fall Guys coming to the Nintendo Switch as well as the Xbox.
We don't have a release date on the Xbox.
Outer Wilds. I liked Outer Wilds. I'm glad to see that it's going to get moved over to the Switch as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some very interesting titles, such as Legend of Freaking Mana, coming to the Nintendo Switch. I love the Mana series. I'm happy to see it continue on. Samurai Warriors, neutral. I'm very neutral too. It's a nice little beat 'em up style game where you are the sole person against like 1,000 people plus. I don't know anything about this one, but it's a detective style story. Famicom Detective, which is a very interesting name because
it's very much that art style of the characters are just kind of there while the dialogue scrolls across the screen. But I do like that they've added a little bit of like animation and like the talking and like there's some swaying and stuff like that.
Right. So. And I mean, I'm always interested in more Phoenix Wright style games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super interested. It's just, will I get it on launch? No, I'll wait till a little bit more to hear about it. Motherfucking Travis touchdown, baby. I'm always down for No More Heroes, but this, with No More Heroes 3 having a very strange trailer, and then Travis touchdown at the very end going, what, you thought it was for that? Nah, it's me. And looking at the gameplay, I love hack and slashes. It's just I need to be there for the story, and No More Heroes is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
It is there for it. Like, the mini games to power yourself up, you are literally mowing lawns, delivering food to people. Like, they are weird. It is a very strange game. Swery is a very strange individual.
Got terrible quality on this video right now for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's because we're streaming.
Okay.
But I'm here for it. I might actually purchase this.
All right.
Other than that, some other very interesting games. Go check them out. I don't want to spoil this one, Neon White. It looks good, but Miitopia is coming back. That was another weird one.
Hold on. The DC Superhero Girls is getting something. Those are great stories for any little girl that
youths,
female youths
that
it's a great story series. They've got some fun cartoons, they've got books. It's definitely something that's great out there because I mean, it's been one of those things where it's like there's been kind of a male dominated thing in comics, and this has all been a really great thing. So it's cool that they're getting a game.
Okay.
And on a console I feel kids are comfortable with.
Okay. Plants vs. Zombies, Better from Neighborville, more Animal Crossing crossovers with Super Mario's, which adds in warp pipes, where you can warp from one side of the island to another, just as long as you got the warp pipes up.
Nice.
I like it. Star Wars Hunter, you showed me this earlier, and I didn't look into it fully, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because it made it feel like it was just a straight-up mobile game.
So it's a third-person shooter, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a mobile game. Now, I don't understand why mobile games aren't more available on console. You know how many mobile games I'd love to just play on my console?
Right.
Or on my computer. Now, I did look into it. Zynga had previously done another Star Wars game for mobile that they've now officially shut the servers down for.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually, I had to go through and do a big clear out on my phone because there was like 3 or 4 games that I had forgotten about. I haven't been playing in a while. All the servers have been shut down.
Yeah.
Some Marvel ones, some Star Wars ones, stuff like that. So it's not nearly as weird as initially felt that they were doing a Star Wars game. But yeah, I mean, these things can handle it. I mean, these consoles can definitely handle a mobile game. So why aren't there more mobile games available on console?
It's just changing over code. Changing over code to allow it to play on there. Some people have a hard time figuring out the switch up, because certain things can showcase that it plays there, but changing up control schemes, changing up certain graphics type of capabilities.
Just make BlueStacks, do like a BlueStacks type of thing. Make it an emulator. Build an emulator on
and then change up some controls.
And then you just program the buttons.
Maybe it's a little harder than that.
I mean, hell, the Switch is touchscreen, isn't it?
No,
the Switch isn't.
Oh no, yes, it is. It's just certain games can't do it.
Okay, I mean, but a mobile game.
Yeah, you're right. Could.
I don't know. Continue.
World's End Club adds a little bit. Hades I dug into, but not on Switch. But it's good to know that it's gotten a lot of Game of the Year awards, and I'm glad it has.
Mm-hmm.
Glad that it's getting a retail release. Ninja Gaiden, all 3 of the actual games are getting in a.
Never played any of them.
Oh, don't. No, it is the reason why is I remember your major complaint with Dark Souls.
It's just so hard that it's not fun.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sock says she feels that most of the games on the Nintendo eShop are just things you could probably pay on Facebook.
Believe it or not, yeah, I can concur with that. There are some really, really not great games on Nintendo's eShop. But do check out the Nintendo Direct if you happen to want to take a peek at any of the things that were announced, there was quite a lot, and I'm glad to see Nintendo still pushing forward because their last big Nintendo Direct was back in like September.
I feel like they were kind of waiting to see how things went to decide whether or not they should do another one or if they should wait for a convention. And now it's pretty clear there's not a convention to wait for, so do another one.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of Nintendo, but very unofficial.
Well, it's not Nintendo. You keep saying Nintendo, and I'm not.
Well, it's from Nintendo.
It's from Rare, which at the time did Nintendo. Which is, yeah, I know it says Nintendo there, but it's Rare.
Okay.
Where's the rest of this tweet?
Oh, it's here.
Go to Forest of Illusion.
Okay.
There you go. There we go. There's the rest of it.
Oh.
It was supposed to be a Nintendo 64 game. That's why you keep... Okay. So, Dinosaur Planet. It was supposed to be a Rare game from the Nintendo 64. So, Rare, the people that did some of the best games on the 64. GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, all those things. And a development that was halted and moved to the GameCube, where it still wasn't released because they were doing Star Fox instead. These people, they've released it. They have said that they're going to do more work on it. There are parts of this that may not work right. It's going to be a little buggy, but the game's out there and free. You can click through some images here, and there's other images that they've released. It's very much N64 art. But yeah, I thought this was very interesting. Maybe Fox McCloud. Fun stuff here.
Crystal. Early Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I like when these games that didn't get to happen finally get to happen.
Oh, wow. There's a whole lot of interesting things on the right side, but I'm not worried about it.
Sock says, Rare, who did Viv and Piata, ducking love that game.
Pinata.
I played the first one a little bit. I own both of them. I played the first one for a while, and it was enjoyable. I just never really completed it, and I never touched the second one. I own it, but I never touched it. I think it was one of those free games with gold ones that I just never got into. So
now it's time to talk about the other big story.
Oh,
BlizzCon popped off.
Yeah, so we got all kinds of. Is this all lined up? So this should all just be BlizzCon from this
Should
point?
be.
Okay. Yeah. So
yes.
Let me get to my BlizzCon section of my notes. All right.
So BlizzCon, holy cow! I was going in skeptical because it was few here's and there's, and I was like, it's probably going to be mostly Overwatch 2, and World of Warcraft stuff. This one kind of hit me out of left field, and I was like, okay, I was expecting this, but not now.
I mean, what's the other option? Wait till next year to announce it?
They waited this long.
But I mean, they've officially got teams working on it. So if they want this game to come out before the next BlizzCon, I mean, you gotta announce it now.
You're right.
How else are you gonna announce it? You gonna announce it just one day, just drop a trailer online, hope everybody sees it, or do it at your convention?
I mean, they did that with Diablo 4.
Which wasn't fair to Diablo 4.
But that trailer did good.
Yeah, but it wasn't fair to Diablo. Are you sure it wasn't announced at BlizzCon?
I know it wasn't BlizzCon.
The trailer can be dropped, but you have to announce the game at BlizzCon. You can drop the trailer at a later point. This didn't have a trailer.
Yeah, I did.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember seeing still images. I didn't remember seeing a trailer.
No. They had a trailer.
But they're going to drop more trailers for it outside of BlizzCon. But you have to make the announcement for the game at the convention.
You're right.
So with Diablo 4, I'm pretty sure it was announced. The trailer may have been dropped later on, but it was probably announced at BlizzCon.
Okay.
Hell, they fucking announced the stupid-ass mobile game at BlizzCon.
You got phones, right? You're right. You are correct. But Diablo 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. And looking at... Huh?
I like the name they went here.
Resurrected?
Yeah, or instead of like remastered or remax or HD. Or...
The Lord of Terror gets revived once more. It would be a resurrection.
I've never played this.
Yeah. I had the Lords of Destruction DLC or expansion back in the day, and it was great. It added so much more compared. It added a whole entire act. It added the Necromancer and. It added one more class, I thought, but I think it's just the Necromancer that it added. And it just made the game a whole new breath of fresh air. Because the Necromancer has it to where you can basically make it easy mode and have skeletons go and do your things for you.
I'm just thinking of that joke again.
Which one?
Warrior's brother dies. I'm going to avenge my brother's death.
You got my hammer, my axe,
yeah,
and your brother.
Yeah, the dwarf. You've got my hammer and the elf and my bow, and then the necromancer and your brother. You say necromancer, that's where my mind goes. That and resurrecting dinosaur bones to have them fight for you. It's a Dresden policy. He doesn't want the books.
Oh, okay. I was just like,
He resurrects a T-Rex.
I was thinking Jurassic Park, but all right.
No, he has to fight necromancers. Big spoilers for people. Sorry, he has to fight necromancer, and so Chicago's got Sue, the T-Rex, who's like the biggest, most complete T-Rex skeleton, and so he resurrects that to go fight the necromancers. Awesome. He goes riding a T-Rex into battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Diablo 2, great game. It's coming to the Switch.
It's coming to everything.
It's coming to everything, but I'm happy that it's coming to the Switch.
I don't feel like that's the right console for it, though. I'm saying PC or one of the big boys, because we saw how downscaled The Witcher had to be.
I don't know.
Witcher 3. But...
Okay. Having played a few really class act titles on the Switch, including looking at gameplay from Monster Hunter Rise, I think this might actually do well.
They will?
I think it'll do.
We'll eventually see some images. Every company will drop images of it.
Right. And with The Witcher, the reason why I don't think it works well on the Switch is because Witcher is very big. And it loads, it doesn't do the procedural loading, it does mass loading, which I think is the problem.
I'm not sure how big this will be, but I'm sure it's nowhere near that.
Yeah.
But I love it. PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. All of them. Like, they're not even going, well, next gen only. They're saying, everything. You've got a console, you'll probably be able to play it.
Y'all got, and
I'm going to put it on a flash drive, and I'm going to boot it up on my Raspberry Pi.
Oh, yeah,
my Linux. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, well, you can run old Diablo 2 on a Pi, I'm pretty sure.
You could, yeah.
Yeah. But I still...
People have gotten PlayStation 2 games work on a Pi.
Yeah, so, I mean, I will say that the Switch is a big boy console. It's just...
I'm not saying it's not a big boy console. I'm saying the more open the game gets...
It becomes a problem.
It's not built for open world, is what it feels like.
Skyrim on it actually looked pretty good.
I can't believe you just said that. Because you throw a fit about Skyrim being on other things all the time. And you've taken to calling the head of a company a coward for
Todd Coward, yes, because he keeps doing it. But I'm not taking away the fact that something looks good on something.
And when I say big boy, I feel like everyone's going to come at me now because Sock's coming at me in the chat here. When I say big boy, I don't mean that it's not a good console, because it is a good console.
It's not a strong console.
Not even that strong, because it's strong in certain aspects.
Okay.
I mean the load capabilities of it.
Okay.
It doesn't have that computer brain.
So it's not a strong console.
No, because it can do things fast. It can do colors well. It can do screen switching. It does a lot of things the other things can't do.
But it has smooth brain. But no, you're right. Okay, you are right. It doesn't have all of the graphics capabilities. It doesn't have all of it, but it still brings up it's not as strong as this console.
Because it does have good graphics capabilities if you're not doing a lot at once.
Correct.
Because Animal Crossing looks beautiful.
Yeah.
You're saying Skyrim looks beautiful. But I'm saying when it goes from this
to this, it becomes
you lose textures and stuff like that to make it be able to do this. Correct. I think maybe they need to go back and really look at the way they're loading the games on this console and just change that instead. Because I think The Witcher could look beautiful on it if they didn't load so much at once. Because it's loading so much at once, it has to dial certain things back.
You're right. The other thing is, if you do that, though, the ebb and flow of the game as you're going into certain areas...
I mean, you're going to take a sacrifice playing that kind of game on that console because that's not what that console is built for. That's really what it comes down to. They didn't build that console to play The Witcher 3. The fucking crazy-ass people at CD Projekt Red went, hey, let's play The Witcher 3 on that. And they're like,
you're right.
Okay.
I want to take a quick peek. This is from 2019. I just want to take a peek. It looks a little grainy. You can see the pop in. Mm-hmm. There is a bit of a problem with that. But you can tell.
The dust clouds, though.
Yeah, the dust clouds have a bit of a problem. It doesn't do bad.
The wolves keep disappearing.
Yeah, because they gotta bring up the... Oh, that's a little jank. Ooh, that was a little jank. And that was
thank you, IGN, for this video.
Yeah, thank you, IGN.
I'm not... this is playable.
This is playable.
I could do this, but if I have more than one console...
You're gonna get it for the other.
And I have the ability to buy this game, I'm not buying it for this console.
Okay.
It's I already own the game, so I'm not gonna buy it anyways. But if say there was a Witcher 4. There's not going to be. Everyone calm down. There's going to be other Witcher games, but it won't be 4. Girl, it's done. If they were to release a Witcher 4, and I owned the Switch, and I said, it's coming out for the Switch. It's coming out for the Xbox Series X. It's coming out for PC. I would either go Series X or PC. PC problem being that I don't have a PC. So it would be the X. Also, it'd probably be the X just because I'm comfortable with it and I like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It doesn't look terrible, but then go ahead and pull up Animal Crossing or something and look at how beautiful that looks on the Switch.
Oh yeah, it's got.
Like, it looks fucking amazing.
It's good.
And it can handle a lot on screen at once because it handles Smash.
Right.
It's the big environments that's the issue. So when you do Diablo, I'm like, oh, it's got to load an entire dungeon.
Right.
That's where I worry.
Okay. This I didn't catch. You caught this. I didn't.
It's really simple. So Blizzard's bringing back some of its classic games with Blizzard Arcade. It's already launched on PC and console because it launched when they announced it at BlizzCon. They're like, it's available on consoles and PC now. It's like, oh shit, I need to run home and buy it type of thing. Okay. So it's available on .net for PC, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, everything. So it's things like The Lost Vikings or Blackthorn or Rock and Roll Racing. And they're these classic games and new enhanced formats. So they've done some up-rendering, some cleanups on them and stuff like that.
I like The Lost Vikings. I almost beat it, but I got really confused at one of the puzzles.
Yeah, you'd be able to get this on your Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, and people are able to get it on their PC, PlayStation, Xbox. It's available on all of them.
Okie doke.
They had a nice little trailer where it was like an arcade machine that they were zooming in on and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
Kind of felt like the trailer that out of nowhere Fortnite suddenly dropped, where I'm like, y'all, Street Fighter characters are coming to Fortnite.
I saw that, and I was like, Capcom, what are you doing? Because then
they're accepting money from all kinds of people.
They are, and then at the same time, I'm like, if they get a car company, do you know how fucking powerful Epic Games could become?
Yeah. But
oops, I didn't have them all together. There we go.
Yeah, so I thought that was a fun little one. You know, bring back some classic games and you know, cleaning them up a bit too. Make them look nice for your new consoles. Want to talk about this one next?
I could talk a little bit. I don't know.
I have the information. I was asking if this is what you want to do next.
Yeah, we could do this one next. I wouldn't mind going back to WoW for this, for the brief things that I quickly saw.
Yeah. So this is Shadowlands patch 9.1, Chains of Domination. Which just sounds dirty.
It does sound dirty, but I think it's supposed to. In both ways.
Switch will be the strongest, best boo console.
Boy. Best boy. Best boy.
That's BOO. That's boo.
Yeah, well, she corrected it down below.
Oh. So now here's my question. You gonna go and talk like that at a LAN party of PC players? Because I mean they still yell at me about my terabytes of storage on my Xbox.
Me with my 10 terabytes on my Aurora.
Liquid texted me the other day.
Oh, did he?
And he goes, Destiny, or he says D2, and so I'm like, Destiny? He's like, yeah. He goes, it's so much easier on the PC than on the console. I went, well, when aiming stops being aiming, it becomes point and click.
I mean, yes and no.
I'm sorry. Everyone that's like, PC's better, I'll whoop your ass any day. The thing is you're pointing and clicking for your shooting. I'm aiming, and I still rock you motherfuckers.
Neutral. I have videos of me being fucking god awful on PC.
Back to WoW. So this centers. This will center in on the lost city of Kortha. The Chains of Domination will take place in Kortha for the most part, and Ma at large. From what I understand, they're kind of just slapping shit into the Ma area. I don't know a lot about WoW, but I did do my research on this a little bit. It sounds kind of interesting. With the new, they're gonna have new Covenant hubs in Ma, which will give you ways to cleanse the what?
Oh, I'm just listening.
Okay, cleanse the jailer's oppressive influence. The ability to summon player mounts, because people apparently were really upset about that in Ma. And where previously you were unable to do so. So I didn't realize how badly it was like, oh my god, I need to be able to be on my horse. But yeah, all those areas, they fixed that.
There's a lot of areas in WoW that are non-mount areas that you have to trek across because there's a dwarf area that is all indoors. You could not for the longest time, and dwarf halls are fucking massive.
Mm-hmm.
And not having a mountain, you just have to trek your ass up there. They fixed that later on, and as soon as they did, it was just like, Jesus Christ. As soon as you were allowed to finally use mounts, they're like only certain areas of the halls, so that way you're not riding them all over the royal areas. I was like, okay, I'm glad that there's a little bit of something. You're giving us at least go to this area and then you hop off your mount, because Jesus Christ. The other thing would be Illidan isn't coming back. He is dead for good this time.
Or is he?
Oh, he's dead for good.
Or is he?
He is gone.
And your brother.
And your brother. If they bring back Illidan again, I don't think I would. I don't think if I went back and they brought him back in a later trailer, I would immediately cancel my subscription, because he's died 4 times. Once in Warcraft 3. No, twice in Warcraft 3. So 5 times total, to my knowledge. I haven't really played since
Maybe
Pandas.
he's Mr. Sinister and he just keeps making clones.
Shit. I don't want to see Illidan again. The more I see Illidan, the more I'm going to have a problem. I love Liam O'Brien as a voice actor. I just don't want to keep hearing him play a character that should be dead.
So, the big part of this is going to be uniting the covenants. They said in 9.1, players will now only be doing most of the same content together, but they'll also be able to follow the storylines of covenants that they've joined. So, it's a nice cleanup for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
As well as receive story catch-ups and see what's been going on in other zones. There's also a new 10 boss raid. So 10 bosses in one raid. The Sanctum of Domination.
That I have no clue about. I'm scared.
Where players will take on Sylvian's Windrunner at the last as the final boss. As well as an 8-boss mega dungeon themed around the brokers called Tazavesh, the Veiled Market, and at some point encounter this messed up version of Anduin, corrupted somehow by Sylvans and Despire. We'll also see the 8-boss mega dungeon themed around... Oh, wait, I apparently typed that part twice. Okay, that's the end of it.
And then
Chains of Domination.
And then over in Classic WoW, I believe Burning Crusade gets pushed.
Yes.
So which is kind of interesting, because I thought Burning Crusade was a part of technically Classic, but I guess not.
Yeah, Burning Crusade Classics, an expansion coming later this year. Burning Crusade introduces a number of new changes and features, but the big thing being the level cap going up to 70. 2 new races, flying mounts, and there's
that was
a long list of shit.
Yeah, well, but that was a long time ago too, because in current WoW you have flying mounts, you have those 2 races, everything. But Classic brings everything back down, and I'm just like, I forgot how long ago it was before you can fly your Ageless Griffin, and I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago.
Now in an interview with IGN, the developers did say they're not against bringing Wraths of the Lich King to Classics, provided that's what the community wants. So basically, they're waiting to hear from the community before they do that.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's nice to be listened to as a community.
Yeah.
And I get they don't want to waste money making something that no one actually wants.
Correct.
So I
think
get it.
That's all the WoW stuff I had. I don't know about if there's anything else.
That is the last of WoW, but not the last of BlizzCon.
No. There was a few Overwatch things. Overwatch 2 had a few things that they were talking about, like the developer insights, where there's 2 new maps. One
New York and
Rome.
If you go on IGN, they actually, not us, listeners. If they go on IGN, if some dude at IGN or lady or neither sat down and analyzed the shit out of those trailers and images, and it is like multiple pages worth of everything they caught. From characters to abilities to maps, all that stuff. I didn't want to get into it, though. I mean, you can definitely talk on it. It's just, I wasn't going to sit there and do all that for a game that still doesn't have a beta and still doesn't have a release date. It just felt like a lot of work for nothing.
You're right. But there is going to be PvE. They said at least 100 missions that are going to be very unique to each other, which I'm like, good. That means that there's going to be actual story semblance. You can build like whatever character you actually enjoy playing, you can build on it. You can do capture points. You can do this, that. You no longer need to be on the competitive scene. I'm like, okay, this is a whole new game.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't this just be an expansion pass for Overwatch 1? Oh, because it's actually completely different. And I'm like, is it though?
Because $60 or $70 if you're on PC, I'm assuming. Not PC, PlayStation. I'm assuming.
Maybe. Or Blizzard does right, because they've been doing right with their remasters. Because Diablo 2 with Lords of Destruction plus their rumored 6th chapter is going to be $40.
What if?
Okay.
What if in 6 months from now or a year from now for next BlizzCon,
okay,
they finally announce the release date for Overwatch 2 on your phone?
I'd be okay with that, whatever.
Like, it's only a phone game.
Oh, only a phone game? Then I'd have a problem.
You have phones, don't you?
I'd be like, I think that would actually tick off the fans.
Of course it would, but so did the other thing, and they didn't care.
No.
And then look how long it took them to start talking about the remaster or the resurrection of Diablo 2 and the first look at Diablo 4 shit,
Right.
But Overwatch is eventually going to come. It's looking good.
It looks great.
It's just
new.
It's hard to get psyched for something. You have no idea when it's coming.
Right, and then, but they have the maps. They have the 3D renders.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's ready to go. So that means that something soon might pop out.
Hopefully.
I will also place blame on the Backstreet Boys World Tour. That's what I call COVID.
Oh, that seems awfully mean to the Backstreet Boys.
But they're back.
Okay, moving on. Yeah, Hearthstone new shit. So Hearthstone's doing two things actually.
Yeah, we didn't really pop. I didn't pop into the carnival, and I really wanted to, but I kind of didn't.
Yeah, I think I opened one card pack, and that's about all I did.
Yeah, oops.
But they're doing well, I'll start with what's up here. So this is the new Mercenaries mode. Blizzard says it'll feature a roguelike missions and strategic RPG gameplay.
There's Illidan. See how stupid he is?
I mean, he looks pretty horny.
Continue the story.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're adding a section to the card game that's going to be the Mercenaries mode, where it's roguelike missions and strategic RPG gameplay.
I mean, it did well during the bank heist.
Yeah, so I mean, they're bringing that. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent fixture to the game or if it's going to be a temporary.
I hope it's permanent.
The way they're talking, I think it is going to be. But then the other thing is Hearthstone is getting its very own Warcraft-themed expansion called Forged in the Barrens. Now, they've already got plenty of Warcraft stuff. I mean, it is Warcraft. Leroy Jenkins is in there. The most important card ever, in my opinion.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm a Boombot kind of person, but
I don't
okay.
know who that is.
Boombot, there's multiple bots, but Boombot goes, you draw that card, 40 damage will be done to you. And it slides a card into the enemy's deck and goes, good luck.
Nice. I was just talking about the person, not the way the card works.
Oh yeah, the person. I mean, there's a lot of out of game people that I like. But...
It's so weird to me that this is the company that goes, holy crap, you're a meme that was hilarious. We're gonna honor you and make you immortal in our game, but also pull you have phones, don't you? Shit. Yeah. It's so weird to me.
It's different parts of the company.
Yeah, I know. But then also the shit that we covered 2 years ago, back when the winner of the competition tried to speak about his homeland, and they fucking pulled his stuff. It's such a weird thing. But we'll focus on the good here. So, Forged in the Barrens, a new mode called Mercenaries. I talked about that. The upcoming expansion brings 135 new cards that will kick off the year of the Griffin.
The Carnival, I think, only did 110, but that's still a lot. This is a lot of cards.
Yeah, so the year of the Griffin, 135 new cards. One of the big things being the Warcraft-themed expansion. So, yeah, I might start playing Hearthstone again. Maybe.
Maybe. See. I mean, yeah, I'm hoping it catches my attention too. Like this looks similar to Boombot style, where it's gonna be your entire side of the board is just gonna be covered in weird cards that are just gonna slowly either be gaining energy or just being there to block.
Yeah. My big thing is I never take the time to sit down and build decks. That's my downfall.
Yeah. If we were back in Yu-Gi-Oh days, I'd be building decks for years. But
yeah, I didn't get into Yu-Gi-Oh. All right. No, I still had one more BlizzCon thing. I didn't have an image for it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Just really quick, they dropped a trailer for the Rogue class for Diablo 4.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it wasn't anything. Yeah, it's a nice trailer. Go check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't anything that needed an image.
No. But I'm glad that they're still, showcasing Diablo 4.
Yes.
I'm super excited to see. Oh God, the one in the main trailer that had the fleshy cape. I don't remember her name.
I don't know.
But I would like to see more of what she's up to as far as, because when she drove the priest mad, I would like to just know what happened after that. But
gotcha.
When the game comes out, I guess.
I think we might get a little more story as we lead up to the release.
Me.
But you have Outriders up.
Yeah, what's this?
So I do believe we touched on it a little bit when it was first announced, but
They're
releasing.
Wow, that was like E3 2019, wasn't it?
I really don't remember.
Okay.
They're releasing a free demo in 4 days on the 25th of February. That will include all 4 classes that they're introducing, 6 character slots, so you'll be able to try out the characters, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 classes and see different things you like.
Cool.
Crossplay in the demo.
Wait, in the demo.
In the demo.
Okay, you got me.
The biggest part of this, though, your progress transfers over when you buy the game.
Okay.
So Square Enix and People Can Fly revealed a bunch of demos about revealed a bunch of details about this upcoming demo on a big Twitter post, confirming that all players on PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. That's going to be Steam and streaming with NVIDIA GeForce Now, not Stadia though. Will be able to try the Outsiders for free, even without purchasing or pre-ordering the game. You do not need to purchase or pre-order to get this demo.
Okay, and you said Outsiders, it's Outriders.
Sorry, Outriders. Yeah, Outriders. Outriders will be releasing on the Google Stadia on the same day, but won't have a demo for some reason. I don't know why.
Google's weird.
The demo has... Suddenly the computer comes alive and starts crawling across.
I mean...
The demo has no time limit.
Apparently, that's one of those words that we're not allowed to use.
What?
Google.
Oh, on...
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know what's been going on with that, but...
I mean,
we're not talking...
I can't talk about a brand.
The
demo has no time limit, either for playing or accessing it, and is planned to remain live even past Outriders release on April 1st.
That's pretty cool. So in case you're like, oh, I heard my friend was playing it, but I don't know if I'd like it.
Yeah.
You can still try it.
So demo goes live on the 25th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. GMT. I never know what that is. Preloading is not currently planned for the demo, but it was revealed that it's only about 22 gigabytes on console, 24 on PC. Crossplay, like I said, will be available, but you have to actually, for the beta, go in and manually enable it via the settings menu. You will be able to experience the Outriders prologue and opening chapter. The demo will end at the showdown with Goss, the first rival altered, who may be even more dangerous than you. That's a quote from them. After you defeat Goss, you will unlock more side missions that allow you to continue to explore the world. Character levels are capped at level 7. Once a max level is reached, players will earn the 4th ability for their class and will unlock 2 skill points that can be used in the game skill tree. World tiers are Outriders' dynamic difficulty system, and so the demo having these extra spots allows you to really play through everything. At level 5, the chance of higher rarity gear is increased, but the drop chance for legendary gear is extremely low. That's another direct quote. Resources will be capped at a generous amount in order to safeguard balancing for when you go into the main game. Resources in Outriders are used for a crafting system, but they can also be traded to earn better gear from the game armorers. The crafting system unlocks past where the demo ends, though, so you won't actually be able to get into that. You're just holding on to your stuff for when the demo comes out. That was a dude flying through the air when you zoomed in on the image, and that's a hand down in some rubble.
Oh, over here?
Yeah, dude up in the air, right there.
Oh.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Those who wish to purchase the game will be able to transfer their progress, as I mentioned. If you play the main game on the same platform account, though, unfortunately, progress will not transport between the demo on Steam and the full game on Epic Game Store. While the demo will not have any achievements or trophies, your in-game accolades will only transfer along with the regular progress. If you want to stream the Outriders demo, that is actually perfectly allowed, no restrictions. However, there is a trailer that plays at the end of the demo that does contain licensed music, which could be an issue.
Okay.
So this just
I'm glad that they at least came out and said, "Hold up."
Which is actually the funny thing I forgot. Did you hear about the one weird thing from BlizzCon?
Oh.
Metallica performed.
Yeah, that's right, and got it covered by World of Warcraft music
Because them performing at a live event that they're allowing to stream somehow isn't allowing their music to stream.
And Twitch is the one backing it.
Twitch is getting real stupid about this music thing. No offense, guys.
Yeah.
Getting real stupid. It sounds like a hell of a demo. I'm going to try it.
Okay.
The game may suck ass, but when a game gives you that much to try out before it comes out, that feels like respect.
That feels like they're working hard on something. Yeah.
GDC. The Game Developers Conference will be fully digital for the second year in a row. GDC Masterclasses will run March 4th to the 5th. The GDC Showcase will run March 15th to the 19th, with more events to come later.
Cool.
Just quick.
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, nothing announced as of yet, but
Yep.
good to know the dates.
We're expecting big stuff to be digital still. Bungie. You want a job at Bungie?
Maybe. Depends on what it is.
Bungie has started an expansion of its studio headquarters, with facility being built to focus partially on creating games that aren't Destiny. They're looking to get away from doing just Destiny.
Good.
News was revealed in a press release from Bungie, which revealed the expansion. The land expansion will increase Bungie's HQ footprint from 84,000 square feet to more than 208,000 square feet.
That's a big foot.
Yeah. Estimated to be completed by fall 2022. This move is part of Bungie's commitment to the long-term development of Destiny 2. Studio also has plans to use the new space to tell new stories in the Destiny universe and create entirely new worlds to be announced IPs. So I think they're going to get into a lot of Destiny branding outside of the game, but they're also looking to do new stuff. Bungie plans to bring at least one new IP to market before 2025. It's kind of, you're saying you're going to bring something new, but
4 years.
Within 4 years, like, not saying that's wrong because they're probably already working on stuff, but it's like
4 years seems like a long time.
Yeah. Back in June in 2020, a job listing were found suggesting the studio's new IP will be comedic and feature whimsical characters, as reported by PC Games N. Bungie filed a trademark for something called Matter back in 2018, which we have not seen anything about. Outside of games themselves, it appears that focus on new media and multimedia IP expansions based on talent being hired at Bungie. Studio has added Pamela Kaufman to its board of directors, who previously worked as licensing and merchandising for Viacom CBS, which covered portfolios spanning from Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, BET, CBS, Showtime, and Paramount Pictures. While expanding the Destiny universe could involve more games, it definitely seems like we're going to get some TV and film out of this as well.
Good.
So,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind working at Bungie.
I wouldn't mind it either, but I would want to, I mean, there's a few things that I wouldn't want to do at Bungie, because there's a few things I can't do.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't mind working on Destiny-based stuff, but I wouldn't mind working on bringing something new from this company, because they need some diversity in their portfolio. Not everybody likes Destiny.
Or Halo.
Halo's not even theirs anymore.
Oh.
Microsoft owns it.
Oh, I thought Bungie was like a subsidiary of Microsoft.
No, Bungie broke off to make its own company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They might still work with Microsoft on the Halo games, but Microsoft owns it ultimately.
Oh, okay. But shoe news. So we talked about the Adidas Simpsons crossover, and this one continues on from it. Talking about the Flaming Moe's, the drink that he literally catches on fire, and it has everything that's a part of it. It's a weird purple drink with flames.
How do you feel about the whole fiery? I don't drink, so how do you feel about the whole fiery drink thing?
Neutral.
Seems like a really good way to burn yourself. I know you blow it out and then you drink it, but that glass is gonna get hot.
It's a little roasty toasty. I've had one once.
Okay.
It was a little roasty toasty, but it wasn't like No, it.
I was worried about touching my lips and going.
No, because the liquid on the bottom cools it off.
Okay, I guess I get that.
But even still,
Is there a reason to do it?
Aesthetic.
Okay.
But the Flamin' Moe's is the quote unquote hard drink, and it looks okay.
No, they're not bad looking shoes.
The only downside is no price tag.
No.
And no release date.
No. Now they do say 2021.
2021.
I don't mind them. The color's not bad. The problem I'm having is like the material that the flames and these blue parts here are made out of.
The rubberish looking.
It almost looks like they just went, "Hey, can we make a shoe out of a bunch of patches that we normally sell at conventions?"
A little bit.
You know? It's the material that looks like that, not the design. The design looks good.
Yeah.
They're a loud pair of shoes. It's definitely not a everyday shoe, but I can see having fun with them.
Yeah. And then a second one that 5 hours ago at the start of this podcast, I found something else. Buzz Lightyear shoes.
Nice. You're suggesting we've been going on for 5 hours, or you're suggesting it was posted 5 hours ago?
It was posted 5 hours.
Okay, I was like,
yeah, I'm
damn.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, these are interesting.
Yeah, these are very white. But then again, he's mostly white with little accents on everything. And
The plastic on the back is weird.
the plastic on the back is very weird. But it makes it look like his visor.
Oh, yeah, okay. But it's like, I just feel like it sticks out so much. I'd be worried about catching on things and breaking it. Or
Yeah, it would need to... If it folded, like if it filled in this area...
It'd be better.
It'd be a little bit better,
Yeah.
but... Yeah.
What's the release date and price on this?
Release date's 2021, and
Okay.
it's women's sizes $140.
Okay, I'm so just get a really big woman's shoe if you want it, and you got male feet.
Yeah, there you go.
They're not bad. I wouldn't wear them,
Nah.
but
Nah.
they got all these colors. They got the green, they got the blue, they got the red. They got the swoosh is very prominent on it. They didn't hide the swoosh. They're an okay looking shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Check them out on Sneaker News. That's where we get all of our images for these shoes. Normally, they're great over there.
Mm-hmm. And now on to something that I really like.
Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. I keep saying and it's in. I'm not as excited for this movie as I used to be.
Why?
Director and Disney had a falling out. It was all based off of creative differences. He left. They brought in Sam Raimi.
Right.
Sam Raimi, who's done amazing things like Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. Sam Raimi, who's done amazing things like Spider-Man 1. Good things like Spider-Man 2. And things like Spider-Man 3.
Yep.
Sam Raimi, who did Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he did that.
So, a little... meh.
Here
It might be good.
Okay, well, we'll say he's a dartboard. You throw it, it could be good, it could be bad.
Yeah. The reason I'm talking about this, though,
Okay.
is they're bringing in a composer. They've announced their composer.
Okay.
Now, the composer is famous for doing comic book movies in the past. Famous for doing Sam Raimi movies in the past. Famous for doing a Sam Raimi comic book movie as he did the music for the Spider-Man films.
Okay.
The biggest thing he's famous for, though, would be the Batman sound of the film score, 89. Or pretty much a bunch of Tim Burton shit. Danny Elfman.
Really?
Yep. Quote, I am starting to do bits of pre-work for Doctor Strange 2 that Sam Raimi is directing. Even though I don't start it for some months, there's bits of recorded music they need for the sets. I think he'll do a good job. He's a good
music.
Yeah, he's good with film scores. And he also ties into our previous news story. He did the Simpsons theme.
That's right, he did.
He's, from Oingo Boingo, even though he doesn't, want to go back to that band. But I've heard Sam Raimi themes, like, for instance, his Spider-Man one. It doesn't feel like Batman. It doesn't feel like any of his other stuff.
Okay.
He can get out of that wheelhouse, but...
It's just very strange to hear that.
Also, the singing voice for Jack Skellington.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Chris Sarandon does the talking, but Elfman does the singing.
Okay. I'm excited for this movie. Doesn't matter I am very excited because I love Doctor Strange. It's one of my top 3.
It's purely the director is the only thing that makes me a little.
Yeah, but we'll see. What's this?
This is a very pretty image.
It is a pretty image.
Can you tell me? First of all, I love this image just because the moon looks great and you got the beam coming off. All of it looks great. Could you tell me who the actress is just by looking at her back? I wouldn't expect you to. Like the actress, I wouldn't expect you to be able to know from her back.
Ellen Page?
No. That's Elliot Page now.
Oh, Elliot, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Older. Older than Elliot Page. You're not gonna guess, but
Sharon Stone?
No.
Sarandon?
No.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
No.
Okay.
So this image is one of the couple images released from Apple's upcoming series based on the best-selling novel by Stephen King.
Okay.
And adapted by the author himself. I want to make sure I don't screw this up.
Lizzie's? Lisey***s.
Lizzie's, I guess. A weird way of spelling Lizzie.
Yeah.
Lizzie's story. It's a deep personal thriller that follows Lizzie Landon, played by Julianne Moore.
Really?
Yes. 2 years after the death of her husband, famous novelist Scott Landon, who will be played by Clive Owen, a series of unsettling events causes Lizzie to face memories of her marriage to Scott that she has deliberately blocked out of her mind. Joining Moore and Owen is John Allen, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Dane DeHaan, Ron Safas Jones. Lizzie's story is directed by Pablo Larraín, who's known for Jackie, which I don't actually know what that is. And every episode in the series is written by King, which is kind of big. King, Moore, and Lorraine are executive producers alongside J.J. Abrams, Ben Stevenson, and Juan de dos Lorraine. Lizzie's story will debut on Apple TV Plus in summer of 2021. And anyone that has Apple TV Plus, keep checking it because they keep extending your free use. It has gone from a couple of months to over a year now that we are still getting this for free, with no sites for that ending.
Okay.
So this will probably be one I watch.
And speaking of something we're going to watch, not today, but later on in life.
I got to figure out what we're pairing with it. I don't know. So
what we're talking about is Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
April 16th, coming straight up to HBO Max, no cost. It's just going to be there. And I'm
also in theaters.
See it in theaters if you can see it in theaters. Mm-hmm. We would recommend that you see it in theaters just so that way people can see that this is being wanted, just so that way Warner Brothers can, give a huge thumbs up to a lot of things. Because the more that people see it in theaters, the more HBO too, but Warner Brothers will go out of their way to do more projects.
Well, I mean, not just that. Not just that, but they're kind of in this weird thing of like, how exactly do you make more money off of it by us putting it on the streaming service? If you're already subscribed, we're already making the money. Kind of weird thing. We're not making it as much if we were selling tickets. The seeing it in theaters helps support the film to actually make money, so the actors make their money and so on and so forth.
Right.
I watched one of the drops, Judas and the Black Messiah. I do believe last week I fucked up and said Black Mesa, and I don't know why I did that. Judas and the Black Messiah, which is based off of the events that went down in Chicago in the 70s. Involving the leader of the Black Panthers out there, and I gotta say that was fucking amazing. Beautifully filmed, amazingly acted. I damn near cried at the end. Sad story, and it's one of those things where I'm like, shit, I would love to see that in theaters. And it's already made like $2 million in theaters despite everything that's going on. So.
Good. I am very glad. The other thing about this trailer, it's very Red Band.
Yes,
it is. After the very first blood splatter, I was like, oh, I thought it would try and like do like dark cuts. No, this is a very dark trailer. This is bloody, gory, and it is ready to rumble.
So the producers have already, the director and producers stuff like that have already come out and made some comments about the trailer. Now it's out. They say we've not seen all Melina, so don't get angry about the mouth. They say that there's plenty more to her character design still, but furthermore. People talk about how bloody it is and how we straight up see like beginnings of finishers. We see,
That whole quarter of the fight scene, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, you also got like everyone doing like some form of a finisher at the end of the trailer, but you also got that scene where Sub-Zero freezes blood to make it into a knife and all that.
That was fucking cool. He just like carves upward, freezes it in midair, brings it back down.
Yeah. And so the production team and whatnot have said from the beginning, finishers were on the table.
Oh yeah.
It was never a question as to whether or not it was or wasn't. Even the studio wanted the finishers in the movie. Like it was a thing from the beginning. We were never gonna not do finishers,
right?
Because I mean, the '90s film wasn't too bloody.
No, it had one death and it was clean.
And it was like no-name character that they threw in there because they realized they hadn't had death.
Yeah, and it was just a neck snap. And oh no, I take that back. And then there was also the guy that Goro killed.
That's the one I was talking about. Was the Goro?
Okay, well there was the neck snap, and then there was the one that Goro killed.
Because you had the guy that Johnny takes out, and Shang Tsung's like finish him, and Johnny's like no, and so Shang Tsung just absorbs him. The casting looks amazing. The voicing is killing it because
I'm here for it.
Holy crap, did that get over here work? Like I got chills.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny because I just previously saw Sub-Zero. Like, I'm Sub-Zero. Also, someone points out in the trailer, there's a moment where Sub-Zero is coming out of like this black, murky looking thing, and it kind of gives Noob Saibot feels. So maybe they're still
Shadow
hinting.
Man? Okay.
I mean, Sub has to die for us to get Noob, but possible. Looks good. April 16th is when it drops, so we'll probably do it. Can you pull up the calendar?
The calendar? Yeah, sure.
The calendar. And then just go down to April. That's March.
April, right.
So April 16th is a Friday, so we'll probably do it on the 18th. That's Sunday. I just gotta figure out what we're gonna pair it with. Tonight's movies we did not get into when we talked about movies earlier.
No, we didn't, but we kind of mentioned it last week.
Well, it's a great little reference because of what this, because of this trailer. Yeah. We're doing the riff tracks, and for those of you that don't know what riff tracks are, if you remember Mystery Science Theater 3000, it's several of the guys from that. They make fun of movies. You can buy their recordings online. If you pirate their recordings, there's normally a little thing at the end that says, hey, at least go give us a donation. Yeah. And basically, you just cue it up to your movie. They tell you when to press play, and then they make fun of the movie for you. We're doing it with two classics we've seen far too many times, one of which I own a physical copy of it and its sequel, and that would be Mortal Kombat. And the other movie being Street Fighter.
I got one thing to say to you, Bison. and then Julia goes, huh. It's like, how do you make something that, number one, Van Damme does seem intimidating? You just have Ron Julia go, huh.
You know the best part about that movie?
Yeah.
Is that movie happened around the same time as the Mortal Kombat movie. And my understanding is they contacted you said Rod Van Dam before, didn't you? You meant Jean-Claude.
I said Van Damme.
Okay, I thought you said Rod. So they contacted Jean-Claude for the Mortal Kombat movie. This is what I've heard. I don't know how true it is. To be Johnny, who is that Johnny's based off of Jean-Claude. And he turned it down because he was being offered more money from Street Fighter.
Oh.
Which, Jean-Claude's and stuff like that would have been great for the Mortal Kombat movie.
Right.
Not that the actor that played Johnny did bad, because he actually did really well.
Yes.
I just, it doesn't work with the...
And let me also paint,
film.
Where's Van Damme from?
I don't know.
Let's look it up real quick.
I don't know. I know that he did some... I am out of screen here. Lean forward like that.
Damn.
I know that he did some kind of...
Okay. Belgian.
Okay.
Playing an American. Because Guile is American.
Yeah. I know that he, a couple years ago, did some show on Amazon for like their originals on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not look like something I wanted to sit down and watch. Like, it had his name, but like slightly different. Like they changed like his first name, but kept like Van Damme. I don't know.
He did a lot of 90s movies.
He did. He was big in the 90s. I mean, big tough guy that can do the splits. They thought they had something there.
Yeah.
I will say he was good as the bad guy in The Expendables too.
Oh yeah. He can do now. He can do really good, slow, methodical style talking because he's worked on it since the mid 90s, and now he can be like So what would you like to do?
This isn't even to say that like his movies were all bad because
no.
Bloodsport's great.
Oh yeah,
like Kickboxer's great. And he had some good ones.
And as much as you probably don't want to admit it, Time Cop. It's one of my guilty pleasure ones, but
it's definitely a guilty pleasure movie. I like it for the guilty pleasure section because there's fun in it, but
there's a lot. There's really, a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun in it.
It's not a good movie.
No,
but
of course
it
not.
has its fun. It's the same thing with Street Fighter.
Actually, I'm curious. I'm curious. What did people give it? We're not gonna watch it anytime soon.
I'm gonna guess. 48%.
Close.
48 for the Metacritic.
Okay, I'll give you the Metacritic. I was going rotten.
Let's see what the audience.
90 from fucking.
Let's see what the audience.
Okay, the audience. 36.
36.
That's way bad. But I mean, it's a fun movie. It's a lollygag movie.
Don't take it serious.
Yeah, it's a time waster. It's
Time Cop. It's a time waster.
But I mean, if you're wanting another one, First Judge Dredd.
I am the law.
Oh,
that's
God.
another guilty pleasure. I love that.
But the second Dredd movie, would you call that also a time waster?
No, I think the second Dredd movie is amazing.
I think it's good too, but
the remake with Carl Urban.
Yeah,
and it's way more on par with the comics. And I know the audience loved it. It's just they didn't 79.
Yeah, 79. I thought it was worse than that.
72.
72. Okay.
The problem was it just didn't make any money in the box office, so they never greenlit the sequel. To this day, Carl Urban's like, I would do a sequel, but it just financially they don't want to do it.
I like Carl Urban. Carl Urban.
Oh, he's one of those ones that whenever I see him on a project, I get excited. I was excited when he was in The Boys.
I still need to
Star
watch
Trek.
I still need to watch season 2. I've been watching other things.
Just need to finish Mandalorian, don't you? You're such a bitch. At least you're caught up on WandaVision.
Yeah, at least I'm. I am excited to talk about that.
Socks, get him to watch Mandalorian.
She ain't gonna know. No.
Socks, get him to watch Mandalorian.
No coffee pun today. Hope everyone can, What?
I'm just thinking about how I can make an instant pun.
Yeah,
it's multi-layered.
It is multi-layered, but not.
Fuck you.
I can't. I'm not good at pun making. I've never made a pun in my life. I've played off words, no problem, but puns aren't my thing.
It is a play on words. All right, guys, take it easy. See you next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. I guess you can email us. And make sure you check out Geek Grind and use our code. And also grab our link for Humble Bundle right there behind me.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.